Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 50 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Can't believe we've hit the episode 50 mark already. I'm kind of blown away by that, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, totally shocked that we hit episode 50 already. Really, like, whoa, how'd that happen? I'm going to hang on to these guys, actually. I'm just cleaning up my inventory after some of the work I did last episode. Hasn't really been online since then. Getting all this junk blocks out of here. Maybe I'll even cook them up, just to be cool like that. And let's head back over to the Nexus and see how things are doing. So as you recall, last episode, we wrapped up with kind of our whole little system here that we're going to have. I might as well cover this bit up, but not yet, because I don't have a way to get out once I get down there. But I hit the button, and up comes this nifty little contraption that I step into. And then as soon as I step in, it should go down. It's got about a second delay programmed in. And then as soon as I hit the bottom, I'm going to fall. Whoosh! And get caught by this laser thingy that's going to hold me up. Maybe it would be cool to have lava down there or something. Meh, I'm cool. I'm good. And then I want to clear out the area down here. This is just going to be my landing pad for the moment. And then once I clear this area out, we're going to have some kind of room. And I'm going to have some kind of contraption for controlling the different ages that I travel to. What that contraption is going to be, I haven't completely figured out yet. I have like 2 or 3 different ideas, but I haven't really settled on which one I want to go with. So maybe I'll think that over for a few minutes before I start building it, because it would be smart at least to know what I'm building before I build, and I'll be back. And I'm back down here. I kind of figured out what I want to do after spending a little time in my test world playing around. Step 1 is going to be to clear out a decent-sized room here. So I want this to basically be like, a tunnel that's not terribly long. Like maybe this is good. And I'm just kind of spitballing here. I'm not doing anything too fancy yet. It's going to open up into a relatively large room. Want it to be of a decent size. So maybe just like 3 tall. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So yeah, let me clear out this space. I'll basically just be playing with my destruction catalyst here. Clearing the room out. And I'll be back. Alright, that looks like a decently cleared out area. Gotta light up the room, obviously. But first I'm going to transmute the walls. I'm thinking marble down here. If I went with, basalt brick upstairs, marble would probably be the best approach. Now remember, you can't directly transmute ores, so we're going to have to mine those out manually, but not a huge deal. That's just the way it works. So, just transmuting the walls. Don't mind me. Might wind up, I don't know what I want to do with this area. Do I want it to be the basalt brick, or who knows? I'll figure that out too. Let's get the floors as well. Floors will look good as marble. Oh yeah, fancy. Alright, let me clean up all these ores and whatnot, and I'll be back. Alright guys, how do you think this looks? Alright, I like it. So there's 2 things I need to do here. Number 1, let's get some lighting going on. These little torches haphazardly placed around here is just, not going to work, obviously. I'm thinking red power 2 lights in the floors and the ceiling. Let me go get some. Alright guys, so I'm picking up some bone meal here. I actually just had a little bit of a crash with Mistcraft traveling from one dimension to the next. I'm not sure what happened. It wasn't fun because I woke up naked at my original spawn point, so I had to use NEI to get my items back. But now, back to whole now, everything's good, so I'm going to once again start crafting the good stuff that I need. So I got 18 white lumar here, and I need some glass. Hopefully I've got some handy. If I don't, I can remedy the situation relatively quickly by just doing something like this. Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. Go over here to our transmutation table. I don't mind equivalently exchanging things, so let's transmute marble to glass. Quick transmute shouldn't hurt anything. Cool. Alright, let's craft this cool stuff up. Just need to place my white lumar here and here, and then some redstone. And that'll get me about 9 of these white lamps. I actually want 18 total. So, yeah, why don't I get a few more pieces of bone meal. There we go. And do all that again. 18 becomes... There we go. Don't have quite enough glass again, so I'm going to need a little bit more of that stuff. Might as well use some of this marble that's getting wasted, sitting in that chest. Cool. So So that'll get me 18 lights, which is kind of what I mapped out for needing there. Should be good. Awesome. Go place my redstone back in here, as well as my glowstone. Perfect. Alright, let's go play with these things. Now I'm going to grab some redstone torches as well. How am I for those? Should be good. Yeah, I don't have any in there. That's fine though. I don't really need them. What I do need is red alloy wiring, which I have some of. Good. And I'm going to need some repeaters, I think, because I want to make this lighting system look pretty cool. So let's see if I can remember the recipe for the repeater. And I'm going to craft, oh, I don't know, let's say 3 of them. Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe more than 3. We'll see. 3 is good for now. There we go. 3 repeaters is good enough for now. And of course my chest will auto-fill up with the remaining ingredients needed there. So I got myself some repeaters, some red alloy wiring. That sounds good. Alright, I'll meet you guys down there. Alright, another thing I want to do before I head down is craft myself a white lens. But there's this neat new addition to the laser mod since my last Let's Play series. You can use blaze powder to change the transparency of the laser lens. And if you put 1 blaze powder in there, it'll make it invisible. Now there's a transparency number that's proportional to the power level, so I don't think you can make it completely invisible, but if it's higher power, but I think it's going to work out with a low power white lens, and that's fine. White lens of level 1 is plenty good. So that'll be an invisible laser beam, which is going to be kind of cool. And yeah, let's see if we can't figure out how we want this whole thing to work. I might need a NOT gate while I'm at it too. Do I have one of those over here by chance? I have some gates in here. Repeaters, I had some of them, so I didn't have to craft them, but that's me always doing that. Crafting stuff I don't need. Alright, I'm going to get a NOT gate, I think. Yeah, that should be good. Alright, maybe even need a toggle latch too. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Alright, here we go. So, yeah, got this nice little room laid out. I've drilled into the ceiling and the floor where I want the lights to be. I'm going to fly up here into the ceiling, as a matter of fact, and it's going to be dark for a moment, so I apologize in advance. But I'm going to use my destruction catalyst to clear out what's up here real quick. There we go, just clear out some of the roof area. That looks good. All's good here. Just clearing it out, don't mind me. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Make sure to have some lighting up here. We're going to basically want to be able to work upstairs in this area. Yeah, like that, kind of. Cool. So this way we have just like a nice little area to work within. Beautiful. Liking it already up here. So this will be like my above ground area to work. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a little bit deeper on this side just to make sure that we're good. Okay, so let's fill in our lights on the ceiling first. What I want to do basically is have some lights running like this all along the ceiling. Nice and easy. Nothing fancy. The fancy part comes in now. I'm going to run some red alloy wiring like so. Let's say I want to run it here. And then over here I'm just going to place down one of those repeaters I brought with me. I probably only needed 2 because I wasn't thinking all the way, but that's okay. Let's do about that many clicks. So what was that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4 mouse clicks. So that should be 1, 2, 3, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 8. So about a half-second delay. And then run some red alloy wiring like this. Now this is of course a lot of red alloy wiring to be running, so it's a little wasteful, but I'm not going to cry too much about it. And then another half-second delay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. About a half-second, a little less than half-second as a matter of fact. But we'll see how it looks and maybe adjust the delay afterwards. So what that should do for us, and I might want to just run my lighting down here real quick just to kind of demonstrate how that's going to look. Let's see. Yeah, that's where I want to be. Alright, cool. Let's just run it down like so. And I'm definitely going to need a little bit more of this stuff, but not a problem. How'd I get a hole there? Oh well. Plenty of this. Why not? Alright, so if I push this button that I'm about to make, this should be a good test for this. Let's see how right I am. Alright, so I'm going to use a lever actually, change my mind from the button. Let's give it a try. So when the lights turn on, they'll look like this. How cool is that? I like it. Just a neat little effect. And now I'm going to get the same thing to happen down here, but I obviously need a bunch more red alloy wiring because I'm basically completely out. So let's get our red alloy ingots. I'm probably going to have to head back to the overworld to make a few more of these. Yeah, I'll be back after I do that. Alright guys, now off camera I did a little bit of digging. Let's get our red alloy wiring like so. I'm just going to run it straight down this wall. As soon as I get myself out of the way, that is. There we go. And I'm just going to run it underground here to where I'm going to hook up the rest of my lights. So here's where my lights are going to be. So I'll put them like this, and then run it along, and like this. There we go. And I'm going to do the same for these guys in a minute. Alright, let's test this out. From a fully dark room, flip the lever. Dun, dun, dun. Cool. Hey, what was that white laser for, by the way? Just head back to, because I needed a toggle latch for a moment. This is a neat little block. I'll show you how it works when I get back to the Nexus. So what I'm thinking I'll do here is maybe just drill into the wall right here or here, somewhere along this line here. Now you unfortunately can't drill into mod block items like your marble and stuff, even though I have rubies on me. So I might need to do this as a smooth stone block. So let's do that for now. We'll put this guy down here, and we're going to need one exactly opposite right here. Cool. And I can hook up right here. I've got everything going. I'm going to place my white lens, that's an invisible laser, right inside there. And I'm going to need a redstone torch or something to keep it on all times, because I want to make sure that it's always emitting. So let's just get ourselves... do I even have anything along those lines? Probably not, because I'm a noob. No redstone on me. Remember I said always carry redstone? That's okay, a lever will work just fine. So we'll get that ready. Ta-da! Now there is a laser there. You can't see it though because it's invisible. How cool is that? It's even emitting a little bit of light, which is kind of cool. But yeah, can't even see the laser. But it's there. Trust me. Yeah, that's neat. And I'm only a little giddy about that because I kind of recommended it to the author. I don't know if he remembers, but after I did the mod spotlight on the laser mod, I'm like, hey, what if you had a laser that was invisible? Just for this purpose. So this block over here, and I'm not sure what I need for this, so I'm going to find out, but I'm looking for a sensor block. All right, just glass. Cool. I'm going to put a piece of glass here, which is going to be a sensor. And what this thing will do, hopefully, I want to test it out real quick. Where's my red alloy wiring? Should have some more on me. Or did I use the last of it? Probably used the last of it. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, there we are. Got my wiring. So let's see, if I run some wire to the back of here, I'm going to put it right over here for a moment. The way a sensor works is it'll emit a redstone signal when a white laser is hitting it. I think almost any laser will do it, but at least a white laser. So if I turn off the white laser, it's not emitting a redstone signal. And if I turn on the white laser, it is. Now the cool thing about a white laser is it'll get interrupted when a player passes through it. Ta-da! Player's there. Redstone wire goes off. Player's not there. Redstone wire is on. So this is where my toggle latch is going to come in. I'm going to place my toggle latch on the other side here. I don't want this, actually. That was just for you guys to see what I was doing. What I will do is dig through the wall here and try and find out where I have that redstone wiring thing that I was messing with earlier. Should be around here somewhere. Alright, come on. Really, where is it? Maybe just a little higher. Hey, there we go. Found it. Cool. So this stuff, I'll probably not want to run like the way I have it now, but I'm going to run it further back. Just like this. This was only temporary, of course, and there goes all my lights turning off, as you would have expected, right? Not a big deal. Okay, so I'll run my redstone wiring, red alloy wire. I know, I call it redstone wire, it's really red alloy wire. I'm a noob like that. Right over to here, and straight down here. That should be good. And I apologize for the darkness. We definitely don't want it to be dark back here all the time. And then up here, we'll just put our marble back. So that from inside the room, it looks like nothing, right? Like there's nothing going on there, except for this lever that I left here, which I'm taking off now. Cool. And then in here, I just want to hook up a toggle latch. Something along these lines. Let's see. I'm thinking maybe I want to move this up. There we go. So right now I have it hooked up without the toggle latch, and basically when I stand inside the wiring and stop the redstone from connecting, it turns off the lights, and when I step out and have the redstone connected, it turns on the lights. Obviously not what I want to have happen. So let's clear out a little area here so you guys can actually see it happen. I'm going to hook up a toggle latch. What this guy does is as follows. Right here, and maybe make sure that I have a sonic screwdriver ready to manipulate this guy. So the toggle latch will toggle between the left and the right inputs. So I actually want to have this guy set up probably down here. Like that maybe. No, that's a repeater. Like that maybe. Oh yeah, that's cool. So what this will do is when I step through the beam, it should turn on the lights. Cool. And if I step through the beam again, it'll turn off the lights. But it'll keep them off. That's what a toggle latch does, is it toggles the output every time a redstone signal hits that wire. So it works on a pulse of redstone. So it's pretty neat. Watch this, see? So it works on a pulse of redstone, and it just toggles the toggle there. Toggle latch. Makes sense. Ta-da! Cool. So now I have it set up so that whenever I walk into this room, and I can cover up this wall now, and I can cover up this wall. So the laser's always on, and whenever I walk into the room, ta-da! The lights turn on in that neat little pattern that I set up. Alright, I'm happy with that. Alright guys, now I'm crafting some fine copper wire. Looks like I just used up the last of my diamond draw plate. Gonna have to craft another one of those. But for now I'll throw some copper. I think I have enough fine copper wiring. Should be good. Where do I want to get that? Where was I storing that stuff? Probably in here, I guess? No, in the red power chest, I'm sure. Alright, so now I'm going to request myself just a handful of frame motors, because I definitely want to have some kind of cool frame contraption in this room. And while I'm requesting that, I should probably get about 64 support frames. And I need 64 brass ingots for that. I don't have any brass ingots in here. Look at that, I used the last of them probably a while ago. So I'll get all the stuff I need and be back. Alright, I'm going to get myself 4, I think, timers. I think that's about right. And I already have the toggle latch down there. Got myself a repeater, one of the extra ones I crafted from before. Made a bunch of frames, almost 64. Thought I requested 64. Oh well, I was close. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. So I will meet you guys back in the Nexus in a few to build the next step of what's going to be my Nexus little room down there. Alright guys, just walking into my room, and I'm going to get started by knocking down this wall right here. Well, not really knocking it down per se. Let's slip right by the center of this thing. I want to think about how I want to do this, and I'm kind of regretting making this an odd numbered face here, right? Yeah, I should have made this even for what I want to do. Give me a minute to think about it and decide if I want to change this up or not. Alright, I think I've got an idea. So what I'm going to do is dig through this wall here. I'm probably just going to dig up that much. Just clean up a whole bunch of area behind it. And then I'm going to come back and get ready to start messing around with this whole frame structure I want to build. Alright guys, so here's what I'm envisioning. Basically a frame door that opens vertically from the center. So it'll start in the middle here, and these 3 blocks will go up into the ceiling, and these 3 blocks will go down. And I don't want it to go like all the way to this wall. I only want it to go over 3 blocks from the center. So 1, 2, 3. So it'll end about here. And here, 1, 2, 3, and it'll end about here. So these 3 blocks, the 4th one in the middle, and then these 3 here will be the blocks that move up. And I've duplicated the little torch thing I did on the inside as well, so I can clearly mark out where I want my support frames to go. Now I'm obviously going to need a good amount of space up here to work with, so that's what's going to come next, is me pretty much clearing out the ceiling here, and hopefully you won't have any major problems with seeing it or anything. But so far, so good. You shouldn't be able to see anything, and I have to move it up about 3 blocks, right? So, 1, 2, 3, and this is a 4th. That should be good, but I'm going to give myself a 5th for leeway, and then I'm just going to clear out directly in front of me. So let me clear out some more space here, and then I'll come back to build the little frame door that I'm making here. Alright, that should be good, and I've got my frames ready, and the next thing I want to do is grab my diamond handsaw and put about, 8 of these things in here. I'm going to need a good amount of covers, so I'm just going to get myself at least a stack of them to start with, and if I need more, of course, I can go forward. So, next steps, of course, are to put your frames on. So I'm going to need these 3 here, and I'm probably going to need a 4th, actually, so that's a good thing to note. 1, 2, 3. And then the same here. No, not you. Again, flying helps. Flight's the best. And it's not free flight, remember. You're using EMC for it. So it's actual cost, but not a big deal. Cool. And then, of course, we want covers on the sides here. Now, we are going to want to have frames in the middle, so I should, put my marble bricks back there, and then maybe make, like this, the entrance to my back room here. So let me get down the marble bricks and, get those frames in place, too. So for the next few minutes, I'll be just, putting down frames and covers. Nothing terribly exciting, so I'll be back when I'm done. Alright, so now I've got my frame door ready to roll, but I did make one little error, and I'm going to correct it right now. Because I want this frame door to split kind of on the vertical here, I need to get rid of these frames for the moment so that I can put some covers in between them. So, that's what I'm about to do next. Right here, on the top of this, are going to go some covers, okay? So that the, no, not there. There. So that this frame section and this frame section do not touch. And, you'll see what I mean. Shouldn't be too bad. So we should have the, this 1, 2, 3, and the center here, and then, is this 7 tall? What am I doing wrong? I'm counting something wrong. Counted this as 6 before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so yeah, we're good. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. And this top one here is, the ceiling. So it's not really going to actually probably touch anything. That's not going to have to move, I don't think. So we'll see how it looks. This is one of those things you're going to have to kind of, figure out as you go along. Which is how I do most of my builds, believe it or not. Alright, that should be good. And then we do want this piece to be part of this here, so we do want these like this, so that these blocks connect to the ones above it. Cool. And I did have to make more marble, by the way, covers, which is why I have so many. So now this should split along the middle seam here. That should be good. Not even sure. How do I want this to work? Yeah, I might need to drill this out and put covers on the inside. It shouldn't really even make a difference, to be honest with you guys, but maybe just for, real good reasoning here, I'll do that. So covers along this side too. Alright, I'm going to get that set up, and then I'm going to figure out exactly how I want to lay out my frame motors, and I'll be back. Alright, so what I'm thinking here is a frame motor like this, and you can't see the direction of it, but as we know, they usually start facing down. So I'm going to click it twice to face it upwards, and then a frame motor like this, which is now facing down. So what'll happen is I can pulse this guy up like 4 times, and it'll lift it all the way up into the ceiling. And then, once it gets too far, it won't go any further. This guy will stop it, and then we'll be able to pulse it down to get down. So that should be kind of neat. I'm going to do the same thing over here, of course. Start off right here with a frame motor pointing up, 1, 2, and this guy, the frame motor pointing down. Or, no, wait, that's not what I want. I forgot. I wasn't doing this way. Yep, it should happen over here, I guess. Yeah, on the bottom. So basically we'll have our frame motors here. We can place them like so, and this guy will be facing up, and this one will be facing down. So that way it, pushes things down, and this one pushes them up. Cool. That should work out pretty well. I guess we'll see how it goes. I might need to move that down one more, but again, that's something we might kind of have to play with and test and figure out. So now I'm going to head back to the overworld and get myself a battery box, some charged batteries, a thermopile, and come back so that I can have this thing fully charged all the time. Alright, as usual, working with a pretty full inventory here, but I'm about to remedy that. Let's clear out a bit of the wall, like right about, I don't know, here-ish? Sure, why not? Get the lights back on for you guys. Let's place down the thermopile where we want it, and we have to have our Evertide amulet and Vulcanite amulet ready for that aspect of it. So here, 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 and there. And yeah, I know, resources abound. I'm good on resources at the moment, so I don't need to be mining everything I see. And thermopile here, with more water and lava. Cool. From there, I've got some marble brick jacketed blue wire. You know, stick with the marble theme. Looks fancy. And we'll probably just run that straight to a battery box, I'm thinking. Right here is a good spot for it. And the battery box is going to slowly fill up with energy, but of course I brought some blue trick batteries with me to make sure that I have a good start supply. Hurrah! And then I can clean up my inventory, put all this stuff in my alchemy bag, and be good to go. Ta-da! Nice. With my cabling now, I can run some power straight over to here. So right along to this spot, and because I have my covers here, this won't be a problem for me. Hooray! Everything should be getting the juice now, and we should be good to go. Come on, blue lights turn on. There they go. And you guys as well, please. Blue lights. Let's see them. Hey, there we go. Awesome. So now for some testing, just to make sure everything's good. We should be able to test this out and make sure that everything works. So I'm going to do it with buttons as usual. I'll get myself a few more of them as a matter of fact, just to make sure that we're good. So here, we're going to try the up and down. So we're pretty much going to want to pulse 1, oh, yeah, we're good, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And how's this look from this side? Am I too high? I'm a little too high. And I should probably also cover that stuff up with, yeah, that's alright. So maybe I'm 1 block too high here. So I'm pretty much only going to want to pulse it 3 times, right? So that it'll look like that. So that when you walk in the room, it's flush with the ceiling. That's how I want it to be. And then over here, I want to pulse pretty much the same deal. 1, of course, I didn't clear out the flooring. Let me clear out the flooring. Now that I've hopefully cleared out enough flooring, let's see. 1, 2, 3. So same deal, right? 3 down on this one, 3 down on, or 3 up on that one. And then to close the door, we're going to do the opposite. 1, 2, 3. And let's get our covers up here, because I didn't do that yet. Because we want it to look, you know, pretty nice. And then over here, same deal. Which one is these? This one to move up. 1, no wait, I want it down. 1, 2, 3. So once the door is fully closed, then from this side it looks just like a regular old wall. Can't even tell. Let's open her up again. And this is what it's going to look like when it's open. Pretty cool, right? Now obviously I'm going to clean up the inside here and make it look a little better, but there's not going to be much in here. It's going to be a pretty straightforward process of what comes next. So let me clean this up and then get ready to do the wiring. Alright, think I've got everything I need here for now. Basically what I want to have happen is have this door open right after my repeater system fires. So I'm going to dig down under the floor here. Probably not quite as high as I'm at the moment. Let's get our marble bricks here to keep everything nice and cool looking. There we go. So I should have some wiring right here. Yeah, I do. How's it going, wiring? So what's going to happen is after this stuff is, you know, triggered, it's going to go off in this direction. And then can I put a repeater on the ceiling? Yeah, I can, because LRM is awesome. Let's do it back here, though, actually. Repeater on the ceiling. Why did I even ask if that was possible? Of course it's possible. Cool. And let's give it a 1, 2, 3, 4 tick delay again. And then from there, we're going to want to activate probably a state cell, then a NOT gate, then a timer. Do I have enough room for all that right here? Maybe not. Maybe so. And then we want to activate this one, right? Yeah, one, yeah. So we want it to go down at that point. Oh boy. Yeah, this might be a little bit tight, so I might want to do something like this. Just give myself a little more room. Yeah, let's definitely do that. So clear out a little bit more room here, and then what I can do is run my wiring like this. Just to make it a little bit easier to mess around with, and then I can run it up here and somehow get it onto there. Probably by closing up this wall. So yeah. And I'm probably also going to want to get myself just a few of these strips. Marble brick cover strips. Yeah, that'll be good too. Okay, good. So, like I said, NOT gate, repeater, and yeah, state cell. So let's first get a repeater here, so that, or you know what, I can put it on the wall? Yeah, no. Here's good. With a 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the state cell, like that. Nope, totally backwards. And then the NOT gate, and then the timer thing. Cool. And that pulses like that, right? So if I were to run some marble brick up this wall, what I should, and why are you like cool about this? Oh, right. I need this guy to do what? Come in on the side. Alright, so here's how we want it to do. Hits the repeater, there's about a half-second delay. That activates the state cell, that'll run for 4 seconds. That will allow the NOT gate to let the timer turn, one every 0.8 seconds, which we determined was the optimal speed for the frame movement. So let's give it a shot real quick when this connects up. 1, 2, 3. And it's okay if it goes multiple times, because it's going to hit the floor and not be allowed to go much more. And you should be, like, moving and stuff, and you're not. Why is that? Alright, there's one more component I need that I forgot about, and I'll go get it in the overworld and be right back. Alright, what I forgot about, I knew I needed one of these, but I completely forgot about it, is the pulse former. And what this guy does, where'd it go? Pulse former, there we go, is when he receives a redstone signal, he's going to emit a pulse. And that's it, just once. Okay, so one quick pulse. Let's try it again. Okay. Boom, he just pulses. And that's the problem here, is by keeping the redstone signal on, this is going to allow it to run forever, which we don't want. It wouldn't hurt, but we want it really just to pulse. So let's give this a try by putting this guy on the wall here. No, that's not going to work either. Give me a minute. All right, here we go. Pulse former there, repeater here. So there's the repeater with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll put our pulse former facing this guy. And now when I connect the redstone wire, we should be good. So let's give it a test up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5. So I'll just shrink this down a second. Like I said, not a big deal if we get an extra run or not. It shouldn't hurt anything. So yeah, now we should be good. So let's wire it up and give it a try from outside. Alright, so I'm just going to wire this thing up like here, because I want to make sure that it comes up and comes over to this guy, because we're going to have another wire here eventually, right? So I'm obviously going to need some of these cover strips to separate them. Let's go give it a try from outside. So this should work. And I also want to wire it up the wall here to, what's going to move it up? This one? Right, to there. Alright, cross your fingers, we're about to test it. So, when this flicks off, it shouldn't do anything with the, yeah, nothing should happen, okay? But when it flicks on, so lights should go on, 2, 3, and then door opens. Ta-da! How cool is that? I love it when what you expect to happen, happens. So how do we close the door? Good question. Well, basically, I'm going to want to set it up on the other side of this toggle latch. So I want something to trigger this toggle latch so that when it flips to the other side, it will close the door and turn off the lights. So what should happen is it should go lights off, lights off, lights off, and then signal the door to close. Okay? So we need a wire here. We're basically going to want this wire to run all the way across to the other side of the room And I'm trying to think about exactly how I want to do that. So give me a few minutes. Alright, my plan here so far is to go ahead and build the little circuit for what this is going to do right here. So let's get that ready. I'm probably going to want something to come in here. Let's say that the wire comes in here and hits the repeater first, which is here, right? And I want this repeater to have a longer delay, because the lights are going to turn off on their own, so I want this guy to have about a 3-second delay. So I'm going to make it 64 ticks, which is a little bit over 3 seconds, just barely. So it's right now at 1, so we'll make it 2, 3, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 tick delay. And then from there, you go here to where? Am I too close here? Probably a little bit. Yeah, let me move back a little. Alright, so I got that at the 64 tick delay, right up to the pulse former, which will then activate this guy. Can I get you to sit right like I want you to? Yeah, there. And then from there, again, we've got the NOT gate and the timer, which I brought 2 extra timers, probably didn't need them. I'll live. From here, we want to probably just want to run a wire up the wall like so onto the ceiling. And again, we're going to want this guy's interval to be about 3 seconds, the same as this one, and this timer here interval to be about 0.8. Why not? Run it up here to what's going to be a little bit of a tricky wiring situation. For that, I ask for a minute of thought. Let's wire up the first one here. This is, of course, where your strips come in. Going to want my strip here to prevent these wires from connecting, and here to prevent these wires from connecting. So there you go. See how they're not connected? So that'll move it down, or it'll move this piece up, but now I have to get a wire up here and over this one, so I'm going to have to probably wrap around it. So let's figure out a good way to get around that guy. Probably up this side of the wall. Let me drill through here and see if I can't find a good way to connect it. Oh yeah, this is a nice spot. Right through to here. So we'll just run wiring like this. We'll only need a splitter here, probably, and here, and here. That should be enough. So, not the most elegant wiring design I've ever done, but when have you known me to be elegant with stuff? There, like that. Cool. So let's flip the lever. We should have about a 3-second delay, and we'll get to see this door close if I wired everything up properly. So lever on. The timer is pulsing, and let's get out of here. Can I make it out in time to see this thing closing properly? Hey, perfect timing. Ta-da! Closed. That's kind of cool. I like it. Now it's a simple matter of running this thing instead of a lever, of course. I want to run some redstone, red alloy wire straight back in this direction and hook it up to the other side of that toggle latch. So let's make sure there's enough lighting down here. I don't want monsters spawning underneath the floor of my room. And I'll be back in a minute once I've got everything wired properly. Alright, found my way there. Made a little bit of a mess, but not too big of a problem. Simply running my wire like so. Just all the way around the outer edge of the room. Again, probably not the most efficient way, but it'll work. As long as I don't run out of wiring, which I should be good. There we go. Not bad, right? So let's go give it an actual try. So what should happen in a second here is I'm going to come through here, get out of here, and I'm going to trigger my light system to turn off, which would close the door if it were open, but it's not. So that's okay. I'm going to give it a second and be right back to show you it open and hopefully close. Alright, should have been enough time, so let's cross the path again. So I'm going to pretend like I'm walking in the room. I'm going to kind of fly over my beam here so I don't turn on the lights. I could even cover up this wall, because this should be pretty much done. And walk into the room. Boom, 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, open the door. Ta-da! All done. And when I'm ready to leave the room, I walk out. Lights off, lights off, lights off. And about a second or two later, we should see the door close. Might be a little bit too long of a delay, but I'm not worried about that. Ha! That is awesome. Alright, I'm very happy with myself. Now, as for this room, well, I want to put up, good, I have some marble brick covers. That's going to be important. Obviously, some marble brick right here, just to kind of flesh out the room a little bit, make it look nice. Oh yeah, fancy time. And I'd probably use a whatchamacallit for that. And here I can use covers to kind of cover up everything. I guess the only thing you will be forced to see is the frame motor there. But I don't think there's much I can do about that, is there? Yeah, probably not. I think we're, unless I move the whole contraption down one layer, but that would be a lot of effort. So frame motor's staying there for now. It's not a big deal. You know, it looks so good except for that one little frame motor, so I'm going to move it off camera. It's really just going to be me moving everything down one notch, and it's not a big deal. Wow, that was surprisingly easier to move than I thought it would be. But let's just make sure everything's moving the right way. So this should be the downward motion. I forget if I move this. No, it's not. So 1, 2, now it's the downward motion. Good. So that guy should move it down, and this guy should move it up. And I think I need 1, 2 here for you. 1, 2, and then I'll need another frame on the bottom. So I want to make sure that there's one more spot for this thing to go down here. And then we're going to want one more frame here. So let's get that wired up with this, and I'll need some covers as well while I'm at it. This is just for the motor to move. It's not like, you know, anything else. So that there, and then one more up. What's wrong with you? Why don't you go up one more? Oh, I know why. This is something I do all the time. Don't forget to knock this cover off, because if you do, your frame motor won't move up, because it's trying to move a block that is in the way. Yep, very easy mistake to make, and very hard to notice, especially if you're not paying a lot of close attention. So I don't know if you missed what I did there, but you know, rewind the video and see what I did, and it'll, if you think about it for a minute, it'll become apparent. So now I should be able to move it up. So that's the third up, and then I want to go down 1, 2, get a catch on this side because I never covered this thing up. 3. So there we go. Now you can't see the frame motor. So easier to move than I thought it might be. Let's test it all. So close the door. Lights off, lights off, lights off. Door close. Oh, I stepped in the beam again, didn't I? Derpy der. Well, there goes the door close effect. Heh. Yeah. Well, I know the door close works, so that's a good sign. And then we'll door open again in a second or so. I want to make sure that all the timers are done down there. Ta-da! Loving it. And I can close this up now. And just because I could, I shortened the delay on the lights turning off and closing the door. So now let's actually do what we're going to do in this room. One other minor problem, and that is that if you leave the lights off in this room, which is what I'm planning to do most of the time, mobs will spawn in here. So I think I'm going to fix that right now. What I'm going to do is drill up these blocks right here. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to do it mostly off camera. And I might wind up destroying my diamond handsaw in the process because it's pretty low on durability. But I'm going to use half slabs. Now, most of you probably know this, but some of you might not. But mobs can't spawn on half slabs. And the slab, the marble brick slab, is pretty much the same thing as a half slab. And if you place 2 marble bricks on top of each other, they're the same height. So, ta-da, can't even tell that this is different from this. But this is actually 2 half slabs stacked on top of each other, where this is a full block. So if I make the whole room out of double half slabs like that, mobs won't be able to spawn in here, which is exactly what I'm going to do off camera right now. Oh, and one minor problem I'm running into, by the way, guys, is that you can't have red alloy wire on the bottom of a half slab like that. So I'm going to have to wind up doing something like this. Running this guy up here along the side of this wall. There we go. And now I can place my double half slabs on this, on the what's going to be like essentially the ceiling of this room. Of this little underground room, of course, the floor, whatever. Alright, so as predicted, my diamond handsaw did break, but I was able to make a bunch of these half slabs. So like I said, I'll basically be placing down twice as many of them. And remember, a half slab, you get 2 of them per block that you break, so it's not going to cost me any more marble. It's just going to cost me a little bit of time of doing this. Off camera, of course. And you know what occurs to me? I don't even really have to double it. I can just go like this. Yeah. I could, couldn't I? I don't really have to put, slabs on the flooring there. You won't be able to tell the difference. Yeah, that'll be a little quicker and less resources. And there we go, just finishing up with these half slabs all across the room. Should prevent mobs from spawning down here when the lights are off. That way you don't walk into a room full of creepers, which I've done several times while building this room. Yeah, not a fun time. Alright, next up, what are we going to do in this little back cubby hole here? It's just the right size. I have to go find out what to do with it, so I'll be back. Alright, so what I'm getting next is this crystal stuff. Remember I mined this back in one of my Mistcraft worlds a little bit? One of the things we can craft with it is called a book receptacle. So that's the first thing I'm going to make right here, right now. Book receptacle goes like this. Cool. So book receptacle ready, got a handful of crystals, should be enough for what I want to do in this world for now. So back to the Nexus we go, and let's try out like the whole shebang of the system. I'm going to pick up my overworld book because I don't need it up here anymore. I'm about to get home and it should be awesome. So I can also right now grab one more of these basalt bricks and cover up this floor. Of course I missed. Of course I missed. Why else would I not miss? Alright, there we go. Floor looks good. I can even get rid of this torch, not really necessary. So, gonna land here, walk into our Nexus room, push the button, and frame elevator kind of thingy rises up out of the ground and lands. I step inside and down we go, and whoosh, falling. And I get caught on this neat little laser thing, and oh boy, I thought mobs couldn't spawn on half slabs. Sweet. I guess they can. Dude, there's like bad guys everywhere. What's up? Alright, I'll be back once I fix this giant mess. Alright, crisis averted, room repaired. Luckily these blocks do drop, by the way, so if you pick one up, you can it'll drop back down again. So I was able to quickly replace everything and just put everything back to the way it was. Not a big deal. Let's test it out by closing the door, lights off, and door close. Hooray. And lights on and door open, please. Perfect. And now for the crystals. So what these Mistcraft crystals do is actually pretty darn cool. You can use them to create a portal of any shape and size that you want. Any portal, any shape and size. That's right. So if I wanted to, I could create the standard portal frame that you use for like the Nether, or I could do something like wonky. I could really make it almost any size. I'm probably going to just drill straight into the ground here. I'm thinking... yeah, this guy moves up here. This will be good. I'm probably just going to have the portal right along here. That ought to do. And as long as there's like, there we go. It did open and give me back my thing. As long as you have the portal like the right shape and like there's a, top block and a bottom block, it should work. So let's see how well this works. Like that should function as a portal if I wanted it to. I don't know. We'll find out. The way that we test this is by using a book receptacle. And the book receptacle can really kind of go almost anywhere. How do I want to do it for now? Because I'm going to do something a little different later. But for now, I can probably go poking around back here. Clear out a little room. And the book receptacle has to be connected to the, the frame of the portal here in some way. I think for now I'm just going to place it like that. Cool. I might move it back into that room that I just dug out in a second, but I want to test it real quick. So book receptacle goes on the crystals somewhere, and then you simply place an overworld or any kind of linking books and do this. Ta-da! Portal. And here's the awesomest part of this little portal, is you can throw items into it, and they'll real quick, you can see there's a little touch of lag while the item poofs and goes through. It's actually opening up the overworld, putting the item in there, and then saving it again. So it takes a split second, but items in almost any entity can go through. So with these cool little Mistcraft portals, entities can go through, as in like enemies and Dire Pup could go through that portal probably and survive. Minecarts can go through the portal and survive. Yeah, that's a possible spoiler alert. And all kinds of other cool stuff. So if I were to just walk through this portal, boom, traveling. And ta-da, I'm back in the overworld. Woot! That's pretty cool. Alright, so let's take a look at this start to finish and see how it looks. So travel to the Nexus. Dun 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 dun. Hey, what's up, Nexus? And remember, this is the Nexus of all my different worlds. It's not going to only travel to the overworld, so I'll explain how that's going to work in a minute before I wrap up this already long episode. So get into my little elevator, the floor drops out from under me, I fall down this really cool little whoosh, 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 and land right here. Ta-da! And these lights will eventually probably turn off, so I'm just jumping over this thing for now. What I'm thinking is having a similar setup here, like, same as this, but have it like over here, so that as I cross into the portal, boom, I'll activate the toggle switch, which will turn off the lights. Now, true, this world will unload the moment I step through the portal, but that's okay, because the toggle switch will get toggled, and then when I come back to the Nexus, like, as I'm upstairs activating the frame elevator, that'll be plenty of time for all the lights to go off and the door to close. So while behind the scenes, you won't really notice it, but in reality, yeah, I will have a little bit of a delay there. So, kind of like the portal being that shape, by the way. I'm happy I did that and not go with a regular old square shape. Anyway, this thing, if you want to get your overworld book back, just right-click. Boom. It comes right back to your inventory. And right-click again to place it back. The best part about this little piece here is it works with Buildcraft pipes and Red Power 2 pneumatic tubes. So, I can, and probably will, in the next episode, because we're way out of time on this one, set up a whole control mechanism. I'm thinking with some kind of computer console in here somewhere, where I can program which book gets loaded into this receptacle. And then what will happen is the pneumatic tube system will remove the overworld book and place another one that'll link to another age. And this will kind of be my travel area. And I might even change the wiring so that the door open here doesn't happen until the book is in position, but either way, doesn't matter. I kind of like the door opening ahead of time. Maybe I'll leave it as is, maybe I'll switch it up, who knows. But anyway, I think this is a pretty good wrapping up point. We had another exceptionally long episode, but I kind of wanted to finish this whole room for the most part before I wrapped up episode 50 and did my world download, which of course I'll have now. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 50. Go ahead and download the world if you want to play around with it. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I still have plenty more to do. So catch me next time in episode 51. And before I forget, I'm going to empty my white bag into the white bag chest, because I forgot to do that for episode 40. Anyway, guys, take it easy.